All set? Okay, we're off and running. I'm going to call the meeting to order. We have no one from the audience, so I guess we can pass on guests from the public audience. The next item on the agenda would be the minutes of May 3rd. Can I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
A second? Any additions or corrections? Anybody have anything to add to the minutes? No corrections, hearing none. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? So carried. Okay.
I abstain.
Abstain. Okay. Rich.
I wasn't here.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Our, oh, she's here. Okay. Our Board of
Yeah, I'm here.
Selectmen. Okay, Jen. Our Board of Selectmen's meeting is not here, so we can move on to the, what's that guy? His name is Jokolomitsky?
Al Jagunski.
Oh, Al Jagunski. Oh. Okay, sir, you're on.
Great, thank you. The contractor, Greenwood Industries, is mobilizing the project this coming Monday, the 14th. They're going to start with safety, rails, etc. They may start ripping the roof on Tuesday. We scheduled weekly job meetings for every Wednesday, starting this coming Wednesday at 9 o'clock and going weekly until the project is 100% done. All the shop drawings have been received and approved. Most of the material is delivered on site. There is some material that was delivered to their shop, primarily metal, for fabrication of the metal panels. And you'll see that they're billing that in their first requisition, which is also in front of you tonight.
Yeah, Andrew,
that's it.
everything
We're
on there is
starting.
okay as far as you're concerned, right out of the way?
Pardon me? Can you repeat that?
The stuff that's down at the school, I'm talking to Andrew, the stuff that's down at the schoolyard is out of the way. It's not anybody's way, is it?
Yeah, it's fine. Actually, today we had the second drop off of materials, and it's
Yeah.
tucked away in the east lot safely, no problem.
Okay. All right.
Dick, we let in Jeff Gutzfeld from
Oh.
the public, just so you know, he
Oh.
just came in.
Yep, okay. All right. Got two guys from Colliers. That's interesting. Okay. Jason, any comments in regard to it so far?
No, it's been smooth so far.
Okay, good. Okay, Al, anything else?
Well, the only thing I have to add is we are so lucky that we went out to bid as early as we did because
Right.
COVID has started to catch up to the roofing industry. I
Right.
have four other roofing projects that were scheduled to go this summer. I don't think any of them are going to be completed this summer.
Oh, really?
Yes, and we've experienced a small little hiccup in our material delivery, but Greenwood was able to resolve it, and that was fasteners and plates. But I'm hearing right now, EPDM, for example, is anywhere from 2 to 3 months for delivery from order. So if we went out on a somewhat normal schedule, let's say in March, April, we would have a problem. So we were lucky that we went out as early as we did.
Wow.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. I heard these roofers, they're gonna be shut down over the summer because there's no
Yep.
material.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. We have,
Also, Dick, I would object to letting in Jeff Gutzfeld because that's an old picture of him. He doesn't look like that anymore.
I was gonna say, that doesn't look like him. I know
No, it doesn't
he's
look
there,
like him, so I
but that's
wouldn't let
a
him
speed cross,
in.
so we won't listen to him. We'll let his buddy up in the other corner talk when he gets.
All right.
Okay, we have two invoices. You want to talk about them, please?
Yep, the first application for payment from Greenwood for $392,635, primarily for materials, not all of it, but they're billing for 60% of the materials. I have a feeling that more than 60% is already on site, but that's what they billed for. And this, by the way, is through the end of May.
Okay.
They're also billing for fasteners.
Hold on. Let's handle that one. Can we have a motion to approve this invoice for Greenwood?
Yes, so moved.
Second?
Second.
Any further questions on that? That's just one amount from them. Is that correct? They got a larger amount coming?
Well, this is their first requisition, and they're only billing, obviously, for material that was delivered on site.
Okay, good. Okay, all those in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Aye, good. Okay, that one passes, okay? All right, go ahead. The next one is from Allied Restoration? That's the same thing, I'm sorry. The next one's from you, right?
Yep.
Okay, then we have an invoice number 21129, for Jakunski Homes, the amount of $1,180. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
So move. Second?
Second.
Second.
Any comments, questions? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? So carried. Okay, Al, anything else you want to add?
No, that's it. Project
Okay,
starting. We're going to see everybody on Wednesday morning for our first job meeting, and hopefully everything goes smooth.
Go from there. Good. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. I'm over and out. I'm joining the hockey game. Go Bruins.
Take care. Yeah, you got it. Okay.
Bye.
Okay, that takes care of item 3. Now, okay, let's move on to item 4. Henry James, starting with Castle Booze.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hello. So in this past month, we've had little activity on site. There's really just closeout generally going on, and there are a few warranty items that Downs was helping with on site. But Castle Booze, had reviewed all the work already. There's really nothing for us to be on site for, except that we were out more than a month ago now, May 6th. That was since our last meeting. That we did a site review, and there were some lawns that we were still waiting for. There were some spotty areas that we were waiting for those to be established. And just a few site things that we're waiting to see. In all, the work has been complete for some time. They were just little things that we expected to be, wrapped up 100%. So.
Basically, how do you feel about the project?
I feel good about the project. I think it's gone pretty well. So now we've just been reviewing closeout information. KBA has reviewed everything to date and has commented on any outstanding materials that still need to be, not materials, building materials, but documentation that needs to be provided to the owner. Downs is aware of everything that is outstanding, and there's very little of it.
When do you think you'll be closing out? You'll be complete?
I'm going to let Downs comment on that either now or when they get to their thing. Because as far as KBA is concerned, we've reviewed everything to date. There's nothing in our court to review at this point. And I do think it's pretty limited on what we're waiting for. So it's just whenever Downs gets me the last of closeout documentation.
Are you waiting for anything major?
The biggest, all the closeout stuff is pretty minimal, except there's likely a big package of high performance materials, that kind of documentation, that I haven't seen yet. But I know that I've heard that Downs is pretty, has that pretty well under control, and that they're supposed to have that to me by the end of this week for my review.
Right.
And that's the biggest part of closeout at this point that I haven't seen yet.
Andrew, you have any comments to Castle Booze?
No, Jennifer's report is accurate. We're in the final stages for sure.
Good. Okay. All right. Jennifer, you're all set?
And the only other thing, I did review an application for payment this past month. I'm not sure if that's in your packet or not, but it was reviewed and put on Procore for those that had access.
When we get the payments.
So, and that's it. Thank you.
Good. Okay, moving on. Collier's report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Just as Jennifer said, things are moving along, but Steve and his team are in the process of not only doing the closeout, but also providing the savings back to the owner. So you'll see in that application for payment, there are credits that are coming back to you. So those are in process. And Steve's working diligently with his team on that. And then the only other thing is, as Jennifer said, the punch list work is ongoing, and the Downs is going to be out there later this week, and then a little bit the following week is what we're hearing at this point when school's out of session, to try and resolve the few minor warranty and a couple of punch list items that remain.
The punch list items of phase 2 and phase 5?
Yeah, it's just some, I didn't go through and itemize each and every one. So that's where we were before. And there's been an update that's been provided. And it's mainly, as Jennifer said, the lawns, which I think were phase 3, some of them were this last phase.
Them was phase 5, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a few things there that are being dealt with. And naturally, it's easier to do it when the students are out. So we're hoping to have those closed out shortly. And then the one thing that Andrew has been working on is just getting that one exhaust fan over there in the area D replaced.
Oh, gosh,
So
yeah,
once-
still kicking around, right?
Yeah. Well, again, it's a procurement issue, as we
Yep.
heard earlier.
Yep.
All kinds of materials are a little tough to get these days.
Yep,
And been working diligently on getting that, so that's in process, and that'll bring us to the end so that hopefully we get everything up to the design standards that were anticipated with that old fan that's being replaced.
you mentioned about $156,113 is a credit to us. Is that work?
It's changed, as Jennifer said. There's a new change that's come in. I think Steve will talk to it, but we're just over 200,000 at this point.
Okay, that's
That's
what
coming back to you with change order number 19.
Okay. All right. Any questions to Collier? None? Okay, let's move on to.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Downs, Steve, how are you?
Good. How's everybody doing? Balance of the contingency that you can see on my first page of the report. It's the same reporting as last month, as I have not done any more credit COPs or any COPs for this month. We'll wrap those up in June and get Jennifer's sign off. And
But you say there's only $1,000 of pending COPs?
yeah, that's for one additional item for the school at the auditorium area for a door closer. So we just projected that's about what it's costing. It's just, it's an issue getting it there due to COVID, but that's a separate issue. But my only point I wanted to make is change order 19, which we're preparing to get executed by everybody, is full of COPs that you've previously approved at previous meetings.
Right.
So you've already, recognized the savings in those changes. So, and then after this month, there'll be a change order 20, and hopefully that's it for the project. So,
All right, move on.
moving on to the schedule update. So the only thing we're working on, as you've heard, is a couple. I don't think there's any more interior punch list items. There might be one. And we've got several exterior with the site work, mostly grass establishment and so forth. The contractor did reseed this spring, but it didn't take well enough. And, now's not the time to reseed again. So we got to come up with a plan that works for everybody and hold some money on them and so forth, or get them to provide a bond for the town or something. But we'll come up with a plan. And
Gotta get that. Yeah, that shouldn't be a big problem. Now's the time you should do it, really.
well, it's really past the season. He reseeded in the season. May 15th is kind of the last, it's just a rule of thumb, but we just talked about how hot it was. So it's tough to get seed to establish when it's this hot like this. But we're waiting for a plan from him, and then we'll pass it on to our OAC team and get it implemented. So
Andrew or Jason, you have any questions of him so far?
No, we've still been having our Wednesday phone calls, so we're up to date.
Okay.
So any issues that come up, warranty type issues, Jason and the team are getting them to us and we're addressing. There's been a few things here and there.
All right. You got a change order proposals pending here?
No, there's no COPs for tonight, as
I
I've
thought we
mentioned.
had 258.
So we discussed at our last OAC meeting, 258 and 292 are previous COPs that Mark presented to you
Yeah.
for information. So we're not seeking approval on those tonight, but those are those two COVID claims by the HVAC contractor.
Right. Okay.
We wanted to discuss with the committee, the next plan of action for those.
Yep.
To try to close that out, and there's a couple approaches. So Downs is gone to our council for some recommendations, and these are just over 20,000 worth of claims, and our contract allows and mirrors from the town contract too, mitigation and arbitration.
Yep.
And you could start with mitigation. If no one's happy with how that went, you would go to arbitration. And
Well, I think what we might want to do to save all that money and what's going
Right.
on here is perhaps I'll get Jeff involved here in a minute, but way of sitting down and going through a negotiation, trying to negotiate it out with a.
Yeah, so that's really what I was seeking tonight, is just permission to go do that. Because once we start that process, obviously the contractor will be aware that's our goal, to get the number as cheap as possible.
Right.
I don't think, my heart tells me he's not going to say no, because the mitigation and arbitration, besides the cost, each round of that could be $5,000 to $6,000, and then you could be ruled against that arbitration or for. But I mean, he still has to share in those costs. So
I guess the first thing we want to do is, I'm going to run Jeff here in a second, but I think we might want to run this by our council one more time. My suggestion is we run it by the council one more time to see if we should sit down and try and negotiate. Jeff, do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I think because the opinion he gave us was from back in September,
Right.
that we shared in the executive committee, that, that we need to refresh that because, things may have changed. At that point, there wasn't a lot of experience out there with COVID claims. There may be more now. And, just to, get a gut check on whether it makes sense to move forward with a potential negotiation or not.
Ryan, I look to Ryan. What do you think about COVID changes?
It's not my area of expertise. I agree with you, Richard, that getting a new opinion from council might be the best course forward.
Before we move forward, yeah.
Hey, Dick, let me ask you, have we actually rejected the change order to him? As he,
Yes, we Downs has, of course, we carried the contract, so we rejected it. We've told them we were going to give them a zero cost change order to sign off on it. We've done that, but they've remained silent. Besides some talking I've had with them, and right now they're just saying their counsel is telling them not to sign off on anything. So but right now our stance is you're going to get zero. So we will wait for direction from Jeff after meeting with council and go from there. After some advice from you guys.
My recollection from the last letter we received was that council was recommending that we find a settlement.
Yeah, but things have changed since then, Ryan. That's why we want to go back and ask.
Sure, and that's fine. My expectation is the cost of the change order is going to be less than the cost of litigation over this. My expectation is we're going to be seeing the same recommendation coming from council. Do we have an idea of, have there been any kind of settlement numbers thrown out at this point, or are they sticking at give us this change or nothing?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't come to that yet. If we started those negotiations, without your knowledge, that's not the right way to go. So.
Oh, sure. I just wasn't sure if they were saying, listen, if they ever came to you like, listen, we have a change in for X number. If you get us, 15%, we'll walk away. That's something that we would want to know. But without that kind of information, there's no harm in going back to the town attorney. But I expect the answer is going to be the same.
Yeah.
Have you got any gut feeling, Steve, what you think it should be?
Well, I'll close this screen a bit. Just
gut feeling. It's a gut feeling. I'm not going to hold you to it.
Yeah, he's got 3 areas of concern that they've noted. One is pinch point disruptions, mean like narrow hallways, more than one person can't use the elevator. That doesn't even apply to this project, So they've said a half hour per day per tradesperson is where they've lost time. Then they have a face mask impact. I get that. A guy's got to wear a face mask all day and it falls down. So you're playing around with it. I mean, it's ridiculous on one level for sure, but I could give them that one. And then the other one is the restroom and wash station impacts. Right. Again, that's if you were using the washrooms in the school and you had to take turns. We provided porta potties,
right?
And only one guy goes in there anyway. So my gut feeling is half or less is where we can get it.
Okay. I'm just curious. I don't need to hold you to it. Good. Okay.
Yep.
Anybody else have any questions? Lucian? Lucian, are you there?
Do we create a precedent? Are there any other contractors that will come up with the idea? So if MJ Daily gets the money, maybe we can get also. Because the same conditions apply to all the contractors, not only to MJ Daily.
That's correct. But what we do at the end of every job after their last change order
Right.
Send them a zero cost change order with language that they have no more claims. Their subcontractors have no more claims. Everybody's paid in full, everybody's happy, and they
Right.
sign it. And that's,
I know.
we get that before they get their final payment.
Right.
That's, I mean, a lawyer can even turn that around and
And
probably.
we've done that before.
But we are not there yet.
Well, we're there with 99% of the contractors. It's
Okay,
just
so
one that's the
they
problem.
gave you the release?
The other contractors did, yes.
Okay.
Yep. And several are paid in full already, and 5 or 6 remain that are providing the additional closeout items. Not additional, just closeout items.
Those
that-
items, right.
Hey, Dick, I stated this before. I think that's the easiest solution. You
Right.
realize you're just going to pay them. You have a number, sit down and just work it out because it doesn't pay to get the lawyers involved at all.
Totally agree with you, John. That's why we want to try to work it out and see we got to get the approval from our attorney because we went through the attorney through the town. He's got to say, you guys get it, do it, whatever you do, and I'm out of here. So that's what we're trying to get Jeff to have him say to him. So we go from there.
And I agree with your logic, Steve. There's certain things that don't apply. Just discount those and then
Right.
Right.
go together.
That'll be the starting point. Yeah.
Anybody else have any comments to that? None? Okay, you have anything else you want to add, Steve?
No, we just have an invoice that you know
No,
about.
we'll get to that in a second. We move one at a time here.
Sure.
Okay, that's it. So we move to our invoices, I guess, at this point. Our first invoice is with Castle Booze. It's invoice number 16018.04.29 for the amount of $1,187.50. Do I hear
Yes,
a
so
motion?
moved.
So moved. Second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay. The next one is from Downs. It's, let's see, application number 18 for $8,826.21.
Nope, that should be number 26. The amount is 72,468.79.
Well, I don't have that one.
Dick, I had a problem printing my packet, and that did not come through on my packet, so I don't know if that was your problem.
I don't have that one. I had this one here, the process number 18, as I just said.
No, so Steve's numbers are correct. It's the application number 26,
Number 26.
and the amount is $72,468.79.
Okay, do I hear a motion? Anybody want to make a motion, please?
So moved.
So move. Second?
Second.
Second, okay. Okay, so all those in favor of this application, please signify by saying aye.
Oh, hold on, I have a question before
Question, I'm
voting.
sorry. Go ahead, Rich.
My copy is not signed by the architect.
No, it's been signed and uploaded to Procore where it's pulled from, so,
I did
Okay, so
review
that's-
it.
yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah, I
fine.
did review
Jennifer
and
approved
sign.
it, yeah.
Sorry you don't have that
It was in
copy. I'm
her-
not sure what happened to it.
I'll make sure
It's signed.
Jeff has the signed copy for execution with the town when that takes place.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Okay, I found it. Okay. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay. Any other items on reference to the pay applications? Jeff, that's it, I guess, right?
That's all I can see here, yep.
Okay. Steve, you can run away if you like. However, we need to talk to Jason and Andrew here in reference to the next problem going up here, and that's Latimer Lane School renovation. Jason, I guess you jumped in here and done quite a few things. You want to we move ahead here and tell us where we're going?
Sure. So at this point,
Wouldn't have to sit in here now either if they don't want. They can leave us also. Jeff, you can leave.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick around. I'm just nosy.
Yeah, well, technically and legally, but that's okay.
Thank you.
All right, let's go. Let's move ahead.
Sure. So at this point, we have begun our grant application with the state for reimbursement. There's a first page and second page component of this. The first page is completed. At this point, we're waiting on some additional answers and documents from Tecton. We have a contract with Tecton for very specific scope of work that has assistance with the grant production. Completely, yeah.
Okay.
Entirely separate from that process, we have an RFQ that we've put together. I'm just waiting to meet with the state on Friday. Once I get some answers to timelines from then, I'll be presenting that to the board so the board can actually begin the bid process to select an architect for the project.
Right. Okay, I guess the question I have is by the way, everybody that doesn't know, that we have been authorized by the town to overview and run the project for Latimer Lane School. I'm sure everyone has heard about it, knows about it, and knows what kind of project it is. But we're talking about a $36 million, $36.5 million project here, renovation and/or renovations and additions, I guess, based on a design review that was done by Tecton. Tecton is not the building architect at this point. What we have to do once they go through the state grant is advertise, interview, hire, and then move ahead. Now, this is a question of taking time. We want to move quickly on this. And so there's going to be a lot of things happening in the next couple of months here in reference to shortlisting the architects that respond to the RFP that we put out. Then we'll interview. The question is, how do we interview? Do we interview by Zoom? Do we interview by sitting down with them? It's going to be a real mess coming up. And Jeff, I don't know if you want to add anything to this at this point?
No, we're just hopeful, maybe we could do it in person, the way this thing times out. Jason, right? It might be in the August timeframe, I would guess.
That's what it's looking like.
Yeah, it's looking like August, so I just want to make sure everyone kind of agrees with that. Okay, so that's where we're at. Did anybody have any questions at this point? I hear none. Jason, you want to add anything else?
Only that it is our intention to break ground 1 year from now, so we're on the fast track.
We want to. And I guess the state's going to be required as far as timing too, so it's going to be very important that we move very quickly once we get through here.
The state does believe it's possible to do so.
I'm sorry?
The state does agree that it's possible to do so, it just, things have to move quickly.
I guess the question is, our next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, July 7th. I don't know if we can be able to do anything before then. What do you see for timing wise, Jason?
I should be able to present an RFQ to the body here within probably end of next week. As I say,
why don't you do this? Why don't you submit it to Jeff?
Okay.
And I will look at it. We will contact each one of the members here and let them know. But that's basically a standard town RFP that we've done over the years. So it's not going to be a big deal other than just changing a few names, the school and the site and so on and so forth. But Jeff, do you have a problem with that?
No, I think that's right. I think Jason's, basically took one of the previous RFPs and updated it. And I think it's consistent with state requirements and what the town has done in the past.
Yeah, we can, I don't know how many pages it is, but if worst comes to worst, we can email each one of our members a copy of it and say, hey, get back to me right away. And so we don't have to wait until the next month's meeting to get it moving, get the RFP out in the street right away as soon as possible.
Yeah, that was my intention, to get it into your hands ahead of that meeting.
Yeah, okay. All right. Anybody have any problems with that? Committee members? No? Okay. Any committee members have any questions of Jason or any of us? Lucian?
Do you think that it's realistic to be in the ground by next summer? You don't have an architect, or we don't have an architect at this point. In order to be there, we have to be at the state with design, with the documents by the end of the year. So probably we'll have somebody on board, a design team on board sometime in September. That leaves them 3 months to produce construction documents for a $35 million project. It's very aggressive. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
It is.
No, I know. And the problem that I have here, and I don't mean to off the record here basically, but Tecton has been an architect for the Board of Education for a couple of years. They have done a complete design of that building down there, and the question is, do we just roll ahead with them, or do we go out and go through our process? And people are saying we have to go out through our process. The state's saying you got to go out and advertise for architects. You have to interview. You have to select. You have to go. So we're just going to have to push, Lucian.
So what kind of delivery method we have? Design, I mean, we have a construction manager, we have
We don't have one yet. We're going to have to hire one. We have to do all this once we get design.
So you'll hire the construction manager after you hire the architect?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes. So, yeah.
Go ahead, Rich.
Begin construction next year around this time, if you can. It's going to be ready for opening day of school 3 months later?
No way.
No.
What are we doing with all the kids in the meantime?
It's a renovate as new construction. So what would happen is they would reorganize the spaces, turn areas that aren't classrooms into classrooms.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I thought we were basically raising the place at that price.
No.
But,
No.
okay.
No.
It's an addition and a renovation, right?
That's correct.
It is.
Yeah, so it may be phased where you do the
Yeah,
addition.
we've done this before. Well, we did it at Henry James for a good example.
It's fine. It was just
Also did
my
that-
misunderstanding.
But we also did Latimer Lane before. We did the phasing of Latimer Lane before. If John, if you remember, you were on, Bud, you were on the committee back then.
Absolutely, yes.
We did renovations in so many rooms at a time. Then we added the wing on the back, if you remember. That's what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
Probably a little more than that.
Maybe a little bit more than that. Jason, you have a time when that was added on?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You know when that addition was put on the building before?
That was,
5 years ago?
no, it was longer than 5 years ago.
Was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was curious. I'm getting old. I can't remember dates. It's like yesterday. Okay. Well, it's a project that we're going to have to move.
Lucian, I would agree with you. It's very aggressive.
Yes,
But
very aggressive. We're going to have to.
you got to set the milestones and go, if that's what your intent is.
Right.
And then everybody's got to be aware of it when they bid it. The architects, CM, everybody.
Well, you have to have a contractor on board by April at the latest.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
I would take full advantage. I think you're talking the first of the year, but yeah.
I would think we'd probably bring something on as a CM ASAP and go from there. But let's get the architect board and let's see how they fit in with what Tecton has done, and we'll go from there. I'm sure, I don't know what's going to happen there. That's going to be very interesting how that gets resolved. But there are some issues out there, and statewide there are issues at legality and so on and so forth. So we got to be very careful how we do this. We got to go through the process and do it the proper way. Okay. Any other comments, Lucian?
No.
Oh,
Thank you.
Your light lit up. I thought you wanted. Anybody else? Okay, hearing none. Do we have? So we're setting now. July 7th is our next meeting, official meeting. And again, we don't know if it's going to be a Zoomer or a meeting, but we set the date, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can find out what the town is doing as far as meeting capabilities or what, and so on and so forth. Does that sound okay with everybody?
Yeah.
Okay with me.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other new business? Hearing none?
Jason, do you want to just mention the RFP on the PPE?
On the
sorry?
solar. We did go public with a PPA RFP for a solar project on top of the high school roof.
Oh, you
This would
did?
be- This would be after the roof is completed. This would be a next year project.
Okay, so that hasn't been given to us, so has it?
No,
No, so we have nothing to do with it, so,
no, just an FYI.
okay. Any other comments? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Move, second. Thank you, everyone. Stay cool, stay nice, and have a nice day. And we'll talk to you before July 7th. I'm sure I'll be in touch with each one of you one way or another regarding the RFP that's running out there. But thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.